Yo, welcome to another video. It's Elog, and today I'm drawing some cars, the cartoony way, of course, because I was kind of inspired by this one show called The Adventures of Nuku Mashab. I was watching it and I saw one scene where Nuku was driving, and I was like, yo, okay, I wanna draw cars. Because it was one of those cars where like the top is like so much bigger, so like he can fit inside. The proportions are like, kind of wacky, but it makes sense because it has to function, right? And yeah, man, I was like thinking about Kias a lot, and I wanted to draw a Kia, so that's the sketch that I had started with, and I just kind of started drawing some more. Now I'm just showing you some backgrounds that I had already done for this show that I'm developing called Selling Candy. And this is what the backgrounds are for. So this is like the school that they go to, and I think I showed you guys other angles of the school and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm about to start drawing right now. Before that, I'll probably show you guys like a small demo about how I think about this. I think I'm about to do that now. Originally, when I had started like recording this video, I thought I was just gonna like do it straight up while I'm drawing, and then my phone died. Well, ran out of space. But simple perspective, knowledge you need here. This is like basic 2-point perspective. So as you can see, it's like kind of a box, and you can see like my lines kind of converging to the X vanishing point and the Z vanishing point. I would definitely recommend you guys to just like learn a little bit about perspective, do a lot of like basic stuff, drawing boxes, drawing a lot of things together within the same perspective. So an exercise that I used to like doing was like drawing a box in perspective and then drawing objects inside the box to match the perspective. And I feel like that's super helpful. But yeah, I'm kind of like showing here's where the character is gonna fit, right? And of course I could like really play around with the proportions however much I want if I want to change them in the future, but I really like these shapes that I have going on here. And I'm about to draw this fan, right? Because I wanted to do like a demo as to how I start these drawings and finish them. But I feel like these were like pretty simple drawings. So as you can see here, I'm like starting with that initial box. I'm not drawing through, which is probably advisable to like draw through the box so you can see even the the vertices that you don't see in the back, the edges and stuff. But I didn't do that. I'm just kind of going in and blocking out the proportions that I want, like halving it and doing stuff like that, which is another great tip. Like when you're drawing stuff in perspective, it's nice to have like a box, like start with a big box, right? That kind of encapsulates everything, and then you divide it and then divide it and divide it, and then now you can see proportions that like, okay, for example, with me, I like to use the wheel, and this is something that I learned from Modern Day James. Check out Modern Day James's tutorials on perspective. You learn a lot from there. But another thing that I like to do is kind of cheat perspective, because with cartoon backgrounds, there's a lot of like, if you look at Dexter, if you look at a lot of Cartoon Network backgrounds from like the olden days, you'll find that like the perspective is not perfect. Like you might find an object that is like round, right? But the bottom is flat, the top is flat, and then you have like a thingy, or I'll just show you some examples here, possibly. So I'm not really doing that much here, but in some places like the whales, I'm kind of doing that. So they feel more graphic and feel more cartoony than feeling like more realistic, which is, I don't know, it's such a, yeah, it's hard for me to even really describe what I'm, what I'm thinking right now. But now I'm just adding some details. After like kind of blocking out the shapes, which I feel like I could have like done it more obviously, like actually like drawn the rectangles and stuff. But I didn't feel like I needed to. Like, of course, if you're a beginner, you might want to do that so you can actually see how everything connects and how, you know, kind of be more constructive with it. And now I'm adding like the interiors. I'm looking at the reference, trying to get some interesting shapes. But yeah, now I'm just like sizing them up so that they fit. They fit the size of the others. Turning on that background again, and I'm just gonna clean this other one right over here. I think this was the first drawing that I did actually. So you're just gonna watch me do this for a while. I'm kind of tired of talking, yo. Let's just watch. Let's just watch and enjoy. I'm using Clip Studio Paint. And what I love about Clip is the vector lines. Like there's like an option where when you draw, your lines are vectors. So what this means is that now you can edit them and like go in and use your Bezier thingies. Or another cool thing is like when you're drawing, when you're like cleaning up, usually this works best for when you're cleaning stuff up. Like I'm doing here, you can kind of have lines overlap. And so for example, if you have a line like this and you erase part of it, it can like clip to this thing. I don't know if I'm making sense, yo. Sometimes that's why I'm an artist, yo. I feel like it's easier for me to describe something or explain something visually. So yeah, man, there's a lot of like cool features that you can do with the vector stuff. So I'm using that and just slowly like cleaning it up and kind of fixing some of the perspective. I know, guys, there's probably someone out there watching this who's so good, so much better than me, and they're watching me and they're like, this is ass, right? They're like, this is not. So when I say corrected, I don't mean that it's like correct. It's the way it's supposed to be for real, for real. I'm just kind of feeling it out and I'm making it make more sense to me. Because sometimes like lines especially when it comes to perspective, there's lines that converge, right? So if you have two converging lines that are converging to a point, but a line somewhere in the middle is converging to a different point, like it's so easy. It's so easy to go wrong. So you kind of have to be sensitive with the lines that are between your two main converging lines. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but the simplest way I can kind of explain it is if you draw a box. If you just draw a simple box, and then so you have like your top and bottom lines that are converging to a point, right? The line that you draw in the middle has to also go there and converge there. So if you're freehanding this line and you kind of make it like this, 8 times out of 10 you can feel that something's wrong. So I'm kind of like doing some of those where I'm just tweaking a line just a little bit because I feel like the convergence is weird. And another thing actually that's kind of weird to me is with these drawings, like there's a method to find the midpoint of a plane, right, in perspective, where you connect the corners and then you get the middle point, and then you just like draw the line to get the middle. I did that with like the front of these cars, but it always kind of feels like it's off center somehow, which just confuses me, because I'm like drawing it, but I feel like this doesn't look right, but this is what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't look right. I think so. It's like a battle between whether I should trust my intuition or trust the method. And yeah, man, I'm still kind of figuring that out, whether sometimes I should go with my intuition or just go with the technique that I know would see this is how you find this, so this must be correct. Or maybe I just need to move some things around. Like I'm looking at this one specifically, and I feel like this number plate is a little bit too much to the right, I should move it just a little bit over so it's more centered, because I'm looking at those like small lights on the right and the left, and kind of that's my, that's what I'm concerned about. But I don't think it's too obvious, and it wasn't super obvious when I was drawing, so that's kind of how I ignored it. And now I'm doing the shading. I'm about to color it, so usually I like to start with shading, so just so that I don't want it to be the last thing I have to do, right? So I take care of it first. And I did like something super simple. I just kind of shaded one side. The light source is coming from that side of the car, the other side, and the shadows are kind of like towards us. And I picked blue just because I wanted like a bright, nice color. I didn't want to go with like a white or something like simple, boring. But with this one, I wanted to go gray, but I just tinted it with some blue, just a little bit. I'm sure there's one like this, right? Because I didn't want them to be the same shade / color of blue. So I just kind of made this one kind of silverish, adding details, changing the lines. Another cool thing about the vector stuff is you can highlight your vector lines and change the color, bro. You can even make them larger or small. You can just like adjust your line weight. You don't have to redraw it, just adjust the line weight. I'm almost at the end. I just added like a drop shadow and trying to make them pop a little bit. I felt like the colors were just so flat and I wasn't sure what it was that I needed to add. But another thing, I feel like I was overthinking it, because it's like, man, dog, this is it, I feel like a lot of the time I like make a piece and at the end I feel like, man, there's something missing. I need more details, or I need more, something, but it's just like, it's pretty clean work, I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Watch the next one I do, because I'll be drawing more backgrounds. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time. Peace.